We are going to read a story today called Nellie's New Adventure Through the Cranial Nerves. This is Nellie the Newt. He always needs to know about everything. He wants to know all about how the brain works. He is especially curious about the cranial nerves. We are going to learn about these 12 cranial nerves and how they help our body work by reading this book. Nellie is going to help us find each of these nerves as we go. Every person has these things called cranial nerves, and they are held in our brain. Nerves have a very important job to carry information from the brain to other parts of our body and tell it what to do. These nerves are paired and are on both sides of our brain. There are 12 cranial nerves, and each one talks to separate parts of our body. There are also different kinds of nerves that have specific jobs. We can call them sensory, motor, or mixed. Sensory nerves carry information from our sense organs back to our brain, and motor nerves carry information from our brain to our muscles. If there is a mixed nerve, it can do both, which is pretty special. First is the olfactory nerve. It is a sensory nerve, and its main job is to help us be able to smell things. The second cranial nerve is the optic nerve. It is also a sensory nerve. It helps us to see and helps our eyes react to light coming in. Next, there are 3 nerves that are in charge of making our eyes move. The third is called the ocular motor nerve, fourth, trochlear, and sixth, abducens. All 3 of these are motor nerves. The fifth cranial nerve is the trigeminal nerve. It is a mixed nerve, which is one of those special nerves that we talked about earlier that can do both functions. The motor part helps us chew our food, and the sensory part helps us feel things on the front of our tongue. Cranial nerve number 7 is the facial nerve. It is also a mixed nerve. Its motor job is to make facial expressions. It tells our muscles when to smile. Its sensory job is to help us taste on the front part of our tongues. The 8th is called the vestibular-cochlear nerve, which is a sensory nerve. It is in charge of making sure we can hear and balance our bodies. Cranial nerve 9 is the glossopharyngeal nerve. It is a mixed nerve. Its sensory job is to help us to taste our food on the back part of our tongue. The motor job is to swallow the food that we eat. Number 10 is the vagus nerve, which is a mixed nerve. Its motor responsibility is swallowing, and its sensory job is that it carries information about pain from the throat. The accessory nerve is a motor nerve, and it is number 11. It tells our head that it can turn back and forth, and it also helps us lift our shoulders up and down. The 12th and last nerve we are going to talk about today is the hypoglossal nerve. It is a motor nerve and helps our tongue be able to move. You can practice this by sticking your tongue out just like Nellie does when he is trying to catch bugs. Thanks for joining us on our adventure today. I hope you learned that cranial nerves have such an important job and help our bodies feel many things and be able to move.